All right, welcome to DeanBodi Show. DeanBodi Show. Hey, everybody, how are you? What's going on? Hey, we're cruising through another week as this year is on its way. Coming to the end of January already. And hey, let's get this thing kicked off on a beautiful Friday afternoon, even though it's raining outside. Hey, it's good to be alive. Oh, yeah. Good girl, Bodi. Good girl, Bodi. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com. 800-878-9698. Bodi hotline, fun line. Call the Bodi line. Say something nice to Bodi. She's waiting for you. Your first name, where you're from. Sing a little song. We'll sing it with you. That's how we do it over here. And hey, tell us a little story, something you got going on you want us to bring up, and we can bounce off of it, and we'll give you our 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents worth. We'd be happy to. Hey, that's what we do over here, DeanBodi. Real life stories, real shows, our day-to-day, the DeanBodi Show. That's how we do it for the Dean Boatsters. Oh, yeah. So, DeanBodi.com is the website. And we got the links on there. I want to get you over to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. The other link will get you over to the YouTube channel, DeanBodi _show, YouTube channel. Oh, so what's going on over here? Hey, it's been a few days. I don't know. We're coming at you daily, DeanBodi, but sometimes it's bi-daily, tri-daily, quad-daily. And, we're definitely coming at you weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, tri-weekly, quad-weekly. Okay? That's how we roll over here, DeanBodi. But man, I found this $35 coupon in my Best Buy email. What a great surprise. And I'm like, man, you ever just kind of go through your emails, some of the stores you have, I don't know, check some of your credit card. Did you earn any rewards or points? And you go through the things and you start collecting a few bucks here and there. And it's kind of cool. Hey, every little bit helps, man, especially these days. But I found this $35 coupon for the Best Buy that's been sitting in this I don't know what triggered me. I think I saw an advertisement for Best Buy going through Facebook or, as you do. And I'm like, man, let me just see. And there it was, $35. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go down there and use it because it's going to expire in April of 21. You might as well get it done before you forget and it expires and you don't get to use it. So I go to Best Buy and I'm looking for things to get. And I see, let me get a new beard trimmer. I'm looking for that. I've had this one for a little bit too long. It's time to replace it. And I find one and it's like, I don't know, 20 something dollars. I didn't quite hit the 35. I'm like, okay, so I'll have extra. So I bring it up there to pay for it. And he's like, you have to have it to where whatever you're getting is equal to or over the amount. I'm like, okay, can we take the amount that I didn't use and give it to the charity that they ask you if you want to donate to Zippity Doo-Dah or whatever it is they got going on the 5 charities and, how they do it at checkout. And I'm like, why don't we just use that for the charity and you do your little thing? He's like, oh, I've never done that before. I don't know if we can do it. I'm like, well, let's try to do it. This way I can use it. And then he does it and it's not really working out. Of course it's not, right? So I've got to go find something else in the store to buy to hit the 35. I got another, I don't know, 15, 10 bucks I got to figure out. Let me go see what's going on in the DVDs. Slim pickings over there in DVD land. Sometimes I look for some of these nature ultra HD ones that are kind of cool. Or maybe a movie, a classic movie that's on HD now that you want to put for your collection, as I got the Ultra 4K DVD player. I don't really use much anymore, but it's kind of fun to use once in a while when you want to make a special movie night. You get to put it into the machine. They got some extra things that they put on there, like the added scenes or deleted scenes or director's cut or interview with the cast. Sometimes it's pretty cool. You don't get that on the other stuff. even though you could probably find interviews on the YouTube. But I mean, there's so many places that you can travel, man, with the internet. But that being said, slim pickings in the DVD section. So I'm like, what am I going to get now? I'm looking around. I see these electric toothbrushes. I see another one of these Vitamix things that, they're a little bit more expensive than I need to use, but not much, maybe $10 more, 15 more. So I said, hey, let's get the electric toothbrush. I don't have one. It's got a Bluetooth thing on there. Everything is turning into kind of like a smart watch or something like that, where the toothbrush wants to remind you, it's time to brush your teeth. Hey, you over there with all the tartar buildup, get up and start scrubbing. Everything's a reminder to do this, do that. The Calm app reminds you to meditate. The This app reminds you to do that, this and that. Everybody's in your business. So anyway, I got the toothbrush. I haven't unpacked it yet. It's still there. I got the beard trimmer and all that stuff. And ended up working out okay, but it ended up being a little bit of a project. But I used the coupon. That's all good. Hey, it's kind of like a little gift to myself. I ended up buying a little bit more than I wanted to, but it's all good. Thank you, Best Buy. And a couple things that I needed, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of good use out of. All right. So, listen, man, there's a lot going on over here with this whole, I'm still going through my keto diet, trying to get keto adapted, fat adapted, handling my gout flare-ups and all this, trying to go through this and navigating, trying to rebuild my adrenal glands from the adrenal gland insufficiency that I had, and all this building. This year is going to be whole rebuilding, replenishing, rejuvenating my body. And it's a project, man. And sometimes we're going through this, hey, it could get worse before it gets better. And that's what's going on here. And if you noticed, I think Biden even said that. Anyway, hey, congratulations, Biden, Kamala, and all you guys over there. It's not a first lady anymore. Now it's it is a first lady to the president, but to the vice president, it's a first man, a first husband, or whatever you want to call it. So these changes are kind of cool. Hey, listen, Donald Trump, who knows where his family's going to be going in the next election and what's going to be happening. But things calming down, things getting into some kind of normal groove without all this back and forth fighting, name calling, and all this uproar and upheaval and all this other stuff is not something we want to go through for the rest of this year. Hopefully that's not going to happen anymore, and we can find a way to actually come together and, let's rebuild this country and get things dialed in. The pandemic is still going on. The pandemic, schmandemic, the COVID, schmovid. Here we go with all of this vaccine rollout and all this stuff. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on when it comes to this whole vaccine. It should be your choice to do it. And I don't know how they're going to do all this and if they're going to tighten the reins on that. And yeah, it's your choice. But if you want to fly and get on a plane, you need to be vaccinated. Hey, yeah, it's your choice. But you want to get on the city bus or you want to get into the Uber and Lyft, you need to be vaccinated. Yeah, it's your choice. But if you want to order from Amazon, you know how it's going to go down the road like that. Hopefully not. Man, I remember as a boy in elementary school getting the shots and the booster shot, and it seemed like just a normal thing, going through that whole craziness. They're coming into the classroom, checking all the kids for lice in their hair. The dentists are coming in, having all of us chew these things and seeing all that red stuff in your teeth to show how many cavities everybody had. All of this crazy stuff going on we used to go through. This is another version of that, I have a feeling, but let's just be glad you're alive another day to try to get down the road. So now I'm going through this keto stuff. Look, and I'm finding these people on there let me see. First week of December, I really got myself going on this thing, right? So first week of January is 4 weeks. The first week of February, which is just around the corner, will be 8 weeks. They say 2-3 months to get adapted and all that stuff. I've been checking my ketone levels with my blow meter and my blood and all this stuff. And I've been in ketosis this whole entire time I started, pretty much. So I'm keeping myself dialed in. Now, one of the doctors on the whole keto diet, medical doctor, who I like very much, she got into this, the gout flare-ups could get worse before it gets better. Your body's in ketosis, the ketones, you're moving uric acid crystals around and all this other stuff. So you could have flare-ups and as things are moving around until you start to flush these things out better. That's what I'm hoping that I just went through recently. A week and a half ago, I had a flare-up on the other foot rather than the right. It went over to the left. So I'm telling you real stories, man. Here's the deal. Now, the ones that are talking about the gout, and they haven't had the gout problem in their own life. I don't care if you're a doctor, you got patients coming in. Have you personally had a flare-up? Have you personally limped around the neighborhood? Have you personally lied on your back with your foot on the toilet, crying like a little baby? If not, then you can't really talk about it in real time and real life thing other than you heard somebody say, or so-and-so told me this since I told him to do that. Okay? So I'm a real live testimonial. I am going through it live as you're watching me so I can give you real information. Just like I do DeanBodi when we're going on a little journey and all that stuff. And I had to wipe Poopy off her foot today and all of that because she accidentally, as she was going to the bathroom, sidestepped and hit a mound of you-know-what, and her foot got all full of brown stuff. Oh, this does not happen a lot usually, but it's been rainy out, it's been puddly out, and the poopy is little on the moist side. So you can't always see one that's kind of embedded in the grass. Not her fault. I got a little upset about it because I had to clean it and wipe it. And it was a real kind of a mess. As you can imagine, being barefoot and stepping in it, you're barefoot and getting it between your toes and all that stuff. And as my eyes are itching a little bit today. Wow. So listen, these are the things you go through in life. Bodi goes through her stuff. I go through mine. We go through them together. So anyway, back to the keto thing, right? Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, on the keto diet today. Yeah! So we're getting myself dialed in, becoming fat adapted, keto adapted. We're doing our thing. I'm watching a couple other of these gurus on there with the keto. Some of them speak out of turn. But listen, they're doing their thing and they're working it and all that stuff. One guy was talking about the gout, how 90% of it it's not the purines that are the problem, which means from the proteins that you eat, the red meat, etc., things that are high in purines. It's not that, and some vegetables are, and alcohol and all these other things, blah, 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 that cause the inflammatory response. Talking about how 90% it's not that as the problem, but your kidney's inability to flush out the extra uric acid like it should be doing for people that don't have the problem. Okay, the other 10%, he said, I got a real kick out of this. He said, are some kind of genetic mutation. So now the other 10%, okay, we got the 90% that has the trouble flushing out the uric acid. The other 10% are mutation. But if you follow what he says, it'll still help with that also. So what are we? 10% of us are mutants now? What are we, the X-Men? And going through like, we're kind of this mutant? I don't know, man. Maybe it's that we have a superpower. I'm not saying I'm that 10%, but it's one of these things where they know when they're starting to step into the deeper water as they're trying to teach this stuff. If you do what I tell you to do, then it's not going to do it. You must fall in that 10%. Let me give myself a little 10% leeway in case what I tell you to do doesn't work. Okay, so listen. Coming from somebody who's experienced with the gout, someone who's still going through it just like, a couple of weeks ago, even on the keto, as we're going through this maybe get worse before it gets better, we stopped the colchicine. We stopped the indocin or indomethacin. We stopped the Medrol pack. We got through that crisis and all, okay? So now we're a couple weeks out, and we were doing the Uloric. I have a hard time saying that one without something coming up. Ulor, you know what I'm saying. It gives me the gag reflex for some reason. Nice going with the name, by the way. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is, the Uloric even says, could get worse before it gets better. 6 months for really to get into your system and really grab hold and really get that uric acid lowered and dialed in. 6 months? What a marketing kind of thing that is. Why don't you just say 5 years while you're at it to keep somebody, yeah, I know, honey. They told me it could be like 5 years before it really gets dialed in, so I got to keep taking it. As it puts stress on your liver and kidney, because that's what happens. The synthetic drugs put stress on your liver and kidney. That's why the kidney failure is number one in the country, because of all the meds people are taking. That's why I want to get through this. I'm trying to find a dietary way, a new way of living, the keto way. I'm going to I have a feeling, end up doing some kind of hybrid. I'm used to the bodybuilding style of eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, up to 1 hour before bed, keeping things consistent so you don't have no highs and lows. The metabolism gets really racing. Never did this way before, where I'm doing 2 days a week of intermittent fasting, hitting that 16-hour window or more to tap into that autophagy, right? To where you get that cell rejuvenation, out with the old, in with the new, with the replenishment and rejuvenation. I might add a third day, which is kind of an every other day intermittent fasting. Some people like you should do it daily, this and that, because the science says this and this and this and that. It'll make you crazy. Some are getting into this 24-hour, 48-hour or longer fasting where body really taps into rejuvenation of brain cells and really going into this, because I think it's what's happening is kind of like your body's going into like a survival mode, or just really you're getting it dialed into where it's getting rid of all of these old unhealthy cells from the brain through the body and replenishing that. I haven't gotten to that level yet, but I've done a 24-hour before. I haven't done it recently, but we're going through this whole intermittent 2 days a week now. And the other day, I just do the delayed eating where I go at least to 12 hours before I start my first, or between the 12 and 16. I'm not hitting the 16 to that 20. Wow. So, that being said, look, I'm learning a lot. I haven't had a flare-up. I decided today we're going off the Uloric. I said it was coming. And I don't mean to make this podcast into all, but this is real life stories, real personal life experiences. DeanBodi Show is how we're going to do it. And if I can help somebody else going through this, just like I do with the anxiety, that I've been dealing with that at a high level for, over 25 years plus, which we're going to be tapping into that from time to time with the anxiety issues and how I fix that. And I haven't had the COVID schmovid, pandemic schmandemic stuff. Hey, we're getting everything else but that. The gout flare-ups, the adrenal gland issues and all this stuff. It's kind of crazy. But, look, the bottom line is I'm trying to get my health back. I'm trying to get myself, not just get it back, but get better than I ever was before. I just turned 57. 60 years old is just around the corner. And I want to live a healthier life. And some people are saying, as you get older, maybe 50 years plus or whatever, some people are doing what's called the OMAD. Oh, my computer decided to do its little zippity doo-dah. Excuse me one little jiffy. And as I get it back online again, hey, you're back. They do what's called OMAD, OMAD, which stands for 1 meal a day. And they get all their meals in the day. They're fasting all the way up to whatever the day. And some are saying, you should stop eating around 7 o'clock to tap into your, what do they call, the circadian rhythms for your sleep, and you'll sleep better. And, some that are having trouble sleeping is because you're eating a little too late and all that. I think we're having trouble sleeping because we're irritated and we're hungry. So I probably have to crank up my protein a little, crank up the fats even more to feel more satiated or satisfied. So you learn as you go. I'm doing the bulletproof coffees, baby. I'm doing all that stuff. I'm doing the fats. I'm paying attention to that. I'm doing the intermittent fasting twice a week right now, the delayed eating on the other days. I'm not trying to sound redundant or repetitive, but I'm just kind of going, not just reminding myself, but giving you the flow of what I'm doing with a real life testimonial. Now, today, we're off the Uloric. So that means no prescription meds, none. The last dose was yesterday. And I'm noticing, man, I'm having all this joint pain as my body's healing. I know it's going through that adaptative phase as well. But man, the joint pain was like, what's going on with the joint pain? You look at the side effect of Uloric, it says joint pain. And like, here we go again. See, every prescription med is a double-edged sword. Even your dietary supplements, just because they say natural and all that stuff, doesn't mean you need to overdo it. Most of it comes from the food. Remember, the most powerful drug in the world begins with an F and ends with a D. Food. And then you supplement the food with the supplementation. Not replace it with that. You supplement the diet. Okay, so we're doing it. It's taken a little while. I'm almost 2 months in. And you start to develop these new habits. Things become a little bit easier. Not to mention, looking forward, check this out. Looking forward to something is very valuable in life. Number one, it's very healthy mentally to look forward to something. It's healthy physically also, because the mental and the physical are so tied in, you got to get it both dialed in, right? So a lot of times when you're really hungry, you're kind of playing mental games with yourself. When you're really not starving or hungry, you're just psyching yourself out. I'm working on that also. So that being said, looking forward to the intermittent fasting days instead of, oh gosh, tomorrow's the day that I can't eat until the whatever and all that. I did start with that dialogue initially, but now it's like I'm looking forward to that because I know the autophagy and the cell rejuvenation is something to look forward to. Like, get ready, body, we get to replenish. Get ready, body, we get to rejuvenate. Get ready, body, we get to reactivate. So you start to look forward to these days instead of worrying about what you're giving up and all that, because we're adding some quality to the life now, and you start getting into this game, So, look, this is not 20 years ago when the pipes were a lot cleaner, you got away with more candy and all that as you get older, but if you are younger and you learn from this stuff now, you're going to add years to your life big time. You're going to have less joint pain big time. You're going to have more of an anti-inflammatory life. Inflammatory, not good. You got to ask yourself these questions when you're eating and doing your stuff. Is this inflammatory or anti-inflammatory? If it's inflammatory, like a big bag of McDonald's, if it's inflammatory, like guzzling down a bunch of Diet Coke all day, if it's inflammatory, like eating a bunch of Doritos morning, noon, and night, if it's inflammatory, like woofing down a big bag of Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies, look, we're not talking about treat day when your body's functioning well once a week and all that stuff, couple times a month, all good. your body could probably handle it. But even then, making better choices is still good. As I'm learning from some of these products, like fat snacks, where they're getting it dialed in, there's no sugar. They're using more things like coconut flour and stevia as a sweetener and all that. Start tapping into some of these products. Number one, they're delicious when done right. Number two, it's healthier to tap into the anti-inflammatory. You want the grass-fed, grass-finished butter when you're making the bulletproof coffee. Having some organic coffee, which is better, that some of these other coffees might have, as they say, some mold or things like that. You can get real picky with this, and I get it. It's kind of annoying, but you do it little by little. Some are like, oh, tap water is not good because of all of the impurities and the toxins in the tap water and all of that stuff and the fluoride and all these things. And I'm watching this guy and I'm like, not that I drink the tap water, I filter my water, but he's got a filter on his shower because this way it's not getting into the pores of the skin. And we can all take it to these levels. But you know what? After I got done fussing about what he was saying, because I don't have it dialed in like that really, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about, hey, what about the mouthwash that I'm using? Let's do a more all-natural that. What about the toothpaste? And what about this? As I'm getting into this anti-inflammatory dialogue, you start adding things and tweaking it. Let's call it anti-inflammatory tweaking. That's what we're doing. Every little bit starts to work on that a little bit better. Meaning, when we get into this whole gout thing and the flare-ups and all this stuff and the purines, and the carnivore diet, people are like, oh, it's not the meat, and it's not the purines, and you can eat all the bacon and all the meat you want because your body produces its own purines way more than you could ever ingest. And I get it, but for going from somebody who deals with the inflammatory thing from the gout big time, and if you haven't yourself, you don't know. That's the bottom line. Yeah, you know from somebody who told you, but you really don't know. So you got to be careful on what you say to people. So where I'm going with this is this. While you're going through this, because it's a problem with the kidneys not flushing it out, the uric acid, like they should, they could be doing a better job, is why the flare-ups are happening. Right? It's not the purine. I get the mindset. It doesn't mean you need to eat a bunch of high purine foods while you're trying to heal your kidneys. Where's the common sense in that? Where's the common sense in that? Excuse the alarm that just went off that I forgot that I set for a meeting I have. It doesn't mean you need to give it more work to do. Okay? So while I'm going through this healing, coming off the meds, let's keep it low purine while I'm going through the process for a while longer. Instead of a bunch of red meat, we'll stay in the chicken lane a little bit more. Instead of some of the shellfish that's higher in purine, stay with some of the leaner fish, maybe like a salmon or something like that, which is not as high. Just pay attention a little bit more as you're getting down the water, as I'm doing that morning drink that I'm doing with the lemon, the apple cider vinegar, a little pinch of pink Himalayan salt, and I'm taking a little cream of tartar, a couple dashes of that for the potassium, and a big glass of water, stirring that around and getting that down. First thing. Let's give the little kidneys and the liver a little tickle. Good morning. We're healing you. We're flushing you. So when I do have those treat days a couple times a month, where it's maybe having a nice steak, or I'm having some that seafood that's a little higher in purine, my body's going to be prepared and handling it. And then you go back to what you were doing. There's all kinds of stuff to eat. But as you start thinking this way and doing it, you look forward to it because you're thinking about the benefits of it. You don't have to keep bucking with your ego and thinking that you can live off of bacon grease when you've had gout and all that. It's not really making any sense, common sense-wise to me. You got to plug in the common sense. You can't just mouth off at the mouth, this, and that. Yeah, I get it. It's not the purines because your body makes it, but while you're trying to heal your kidneys and you're going through the process, as some of the stuff with the keto, things get worse before they get better out there, gurus, well, let's be nice to the kidneys. We don't need to dump extra high purine stuff in there while it's trying to deal with what it's already dealing with. Hey, that's how I think about it. Let's see what's going on over here, DeanBodi. I don't want to shortchange anybody, DeanBodi Show. Wow, did I go on a rant there? Hey, it's all good. I hope I'm helping somebody out there. And hey, zippity-doo-dah. Oh, if that alarm goes off again, it's because it's on snooze. So we'll just deal with it. Oh, that's all good. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Yada-dee, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming our way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Hey, Alexa. What's the joke of the day?
Today I have an amphibian joke. Did you hear about the frog in the no parking zone? It was towed away.
Did you hear about the frog in the no parking zone? It was towed away. Wow, look at that. Nice going, Alexa. That was a good one. Got to give it to her. So look, thank you, buddy, for the last night in no pee. Oh, and these words, with all of that I'm talking about now, I'm hoping I'm giving somebody, check this phrase out that I saw the other day, mental refreshment. Oh, yeah, mental refreshment. What a great phrase. What a great two words together, mental refreshment. I mean, it just blew me away, and so much that it's going to be the title of this episode, mental refreshment. But listen, Bodi goes to the bathroom when she needs to because she's Bodi and should be treated like anybody else. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And the Tom Brady I talked about, as we got so much going on. Before we wrap things up today, rejuvenation, replenishment, and rehabilitation, baby. All right. So let's talk about the Bodi. Let's talk about she's doing her thing too, and she's healing as the doctor put her on the antibiotics for another couple of weeks as we're dealing with this folliculitis for Bodi. As we're going towards the doggy dermatologist that we couldn't get because it was 6 weeks out. That's how busy they were till March 12th. So let's not have a resurgence because she's doing better. And I want to make sure at whatever level we're keeping this thing without going too overboard. Just like me with the meds, we don't want Bodi on any meds. We're going to conquer this thing. You're going to see. But I told you, when I come off that Uloric, it's fasten the seatbelt because I'm doing my thing now. Hopefully we don't have any flare-up, and then we know that we're on the right path of conquering what I said we were out to conquer, okay? Real live, real testimonial, looking at you right in the camera right now with a gout sufferer, adrenal gland insufficiency. We're rebuilding. This is the real deal, and we're not making it up. This is not hearsay. We're doing it. We're doing it on a day-to-day, okay? So we got the playoffs this weekend. I'm fired up. We got even more fired up Saturday night. Conor McGregor is back in the ring again against Poirier. I am so pumped. Conor McGregor is one of my heroes. I love this Irish dude. I got his book. I got a couple of his sock hats. I hope to meet him one day, but he's always so positive. Even through this pandemic and all, now he's out in Dubai and Abu Dhabi at Fight Island, and they're going to put on the show. Way to go, UFC. Keeping it dialed in. Dana White, you're a beast. Another one of my, people that motivate me big time. Dana White. So, that being said, a lot of good sports stuff going on this weekend. I'm pumped. And I was talking about Tom Brady last time. His initials are TB, and he's with Tampa Bay. It could not be more meant to be, okay? If he takes this team to the Super Bowl and wins, I mean, it's like you talk about the GOAT, which they already say he is. He's super GOAT, okay? But Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's like however you go TB, is still Tom Brady, TB's initials. It's double meant to be. So I'm getting a kick out of it. I used to live in Tampa. I want him to take it all the way. So go for it. You got your hands full. I think, what are you going against? Who are we going against next time? Is it Green Bay? I think they're going against Green Bay. And I think Kansas City is up against, oh my goodness, Kansas City's going against, zippity-doo-dah, I forget. But anyway, a couple great games. Conor McGregor at the same weekend. I'm flipping out because the football's on the Sunday. Conor McGregor's Saturday night. Oh, yeah. All right. So anyway, Bodi, when she needs to go out to the bathroom, she's got to go. Could be 2 a.m, whatever. Usually she's pretty good. But we had a no-pee night the other night. And we went to bed early. And it's one of those days where I felt beat up. And I'm like, man, I hope that I lied down. It must have been 8 o'clock. I lied down. I'm like, all right, I'll take Bodi out midnight or whatever. I slept all the way through to the following morning. I think till, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. It was a good snooze. Bodi didn't bother me. She was still passed out in the living room. I put on the Ultra 4K ocean sunset palm tree, real live video stuff, and I keep the volume really low. She hears a little bit of the splashing waves, and I put some ALEXA with some meditation music in the background, and Bodi's got the peaceful spa atmosphere as she sleeps. Oh yeah, listen, your body heals when it rests. And I want her to heal just like I'm healing and go through my thing. And I get a kick out of that too, setting the atmosphere in our little DeanBodi haberdashery, as we call it. Hey, Millie!
Yeah! Wow, he really went over some stuff with the keto and all this stuff, anti-inflammatory, really making us think about some things, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is! Let's pay attention to this anti-inflammatory and try to get it dialed in a little bit better today. All right, DeanBodi.
So that being said, listen, let's make it a great rest of the week. Hopefully oh, there it is, as the meeting is coming up. Good timing alarm. And I like the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. So make it a great day today. Let's have an awesome weekend. We got a lot of cool stuff going on with the fights and the football. And hey, new management is taking over in the White House. You got to get the prayers in the right place. And enough of all this back and forth, and everybody wants to fight and all this stuff. We need to calm down and take care of each other. Don't forget to take care of yourself so you can take care of somebody else. And all these things I talked about today is going to get your immune system boosted up. And that's what we're trying to do over here so we can fight off things like COVID, schmovid, pandemic, because it doesn't like strong immune systems. That being said, have an awesome rest of your day. She's the good girl, Bodi. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah, the good girl, Bodi. Yeah, the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com. 800-878-9698. DeanBodi hotline, fun line. Call the DeanBodi line. Say something nice to Bodi. Click the like button. If you like what's going on over here, DeanBodi Show, consider subscribing and leave a nice 5-star rating and review if you have time on the podcast. Would be awesome. We'd greatly appreciate it. And what else can I say? Ring that notification bell. You don't want to miss any of these shows. Why? Because these are real shows. And let me tell you. Go McGregor. Oh, yeah. Have an awesome day. DeanBodi.com. Oh, yeah.